is up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, closet swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Hope you guys are hanging in there from the weekend. If anybody's a football fan, I hope you're either a Taylor Swift fan or a 49ers fan, because pretty crazy football weekend, and we're right back to it. But we know who's going to be in the final game. Let's see, maybe that helps out DraftKings a little bit, but maybe we get some extra Swifty bets into those logs. We'll see what happens, but let's take a look real quick at the SPY. We got you guys piling in still. Good morning. We got Al in the house. Good morning, Albert. We got Andrew. We got Andy. We got Bell, Bill, Cindy. Good morning to David. We got D, Julie, Jay, Lauren, Marius. Good morning to you. We got Matthew, Micah, Wally in the house. Good morning to Richard Jet out in the YouTube land. We got Eric, Uta King. Good morning to you. We got Daniel out there as well. All my other lurkers in the background of YouTube. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. Some people saying audio is good, some people are saying not so much. Not sure why, but yeah. There's sometimes on your speaker there's a power button. Sometimes just hit that one. But otherwise, worst case, the log out, log back in situation could help, as long as most people are saying it's coming through. That's all good. We got the SPY. So SPY, not much activity. We're actually gapping up 2 minutes ago, a little bit higher. By six, we were up by like 6 pennies. Now we're up by 2. So not a lot happening on the SPY. It makes sense. Huge week coming up. A lot of big companies, a lot of main companies are reporting today. I think most notably for the week, probably going to be Microsoft tomorrow. So tomorrow after the bell, we did have Sofi report earnings today, which is surprising. I thought they were actually tonight. For some reason, we actually went over that in the room. I thought I had one more day to get into this thing. We were attempting to go set some bullish trades, sell some puts, sell a couple calls, work a couple strategies, pick up some shares in the zone, and they came out with earnings this morning. So they kind of ruined my whole plan a little bit with that. But let's go back to the SPY. But we're starting to see those earnings start to creep in already. But yeah, SPY pretty much flat. The two zones, I think we're a little squozing right now, which we have this red day. That's really just a retest day. This candle here shows us that we still have some bullish momentum, and now we got some just inside building pressure. So we are letting these moving averages catch up to us a little bit. Matthew got audio. Perfect. We're letting those moving averages catch up. I mean, we'd really have to hang out here for quite some time in order for all of these moving averages to really start pushing up. But we're stacked correctly in every possible stretch of the imagination. And we're going to head into these big earnings week at least. We'll see what happens. I have a little support here. So I got 2 levels of support. We're at 1 right now. I got it a little bit lower, so 487.35. Pretty close to that one. We're going to have another support down at 486.81. If both of those start to break, then I got a lot of room to the downside, 483.75. To the resistance side of things, I got 487.76. To the upside that we got to kind of work our way to break through again. So very tight range on the SPY today in terms of at least support resistance. Obviously, if we break through one of those, if we break to the higher side, I've got nothing really besides some past days wicks to try to break through. And then to the downside, like I said, we got one extra level of support in there. That one's already been hit and retested, so that's going to be a little bit weaker if we start to break that first one. But I still put the weight somewhere around that 486.81 zone to the downside if this current level breaks down. So it's a big if. We still got 25 minutes to decide before the market, so we'll circle back to see if that's such a sales term. So I'm going to circle back to you in 3 months. See if I know you're not interested today. But I'll circle back, put you on the calendar, pencil you in. You might want to buy my nonsense in 3 months from now. But yeah, we'll circle back. We'll circle back. We'll see if we have any movement into the bell. Rocks, I just sold them. Oh, nice. All right. I'll expect that fax with the signature later today. I don't know what office I'm selling at, but apparently we have fax machines. We have aged well with technology here. I hope we're not a technology company. All right, we got the Qs with a little bit of a a slight little gap up again. Very, very. It is a gap and go at least. That's kind of cool. Still inside day. I'm looking at that first level, probably about 424.01. And to the high side, I got 425.79. If that first level of support breaks down, we do have a little bit. We didn't really get retested here yet. So 422.49, I think would be the big one. And again, Microsoft isn't today, it's tomorrow. So that gives us a full 2 days to play in the playground until the report comes out. But those are going to be some key numbers, and probably will set this entire chart into a different direction for the Qs. I think that would also affect the SPY. I think in some way it will affect Apple. Let's take a look real quick. Usually I go to TLT, but let's actually go to Microsoft real quick. As it just sits here at all-time highs. Very close to it. Very close to it, even with this gap up today. So we do have a gap and go. We're above all resistance. Everybody and their neighbor is completely bullish on Microsoft, ChatGPT, everything AI, everything that Microsoft could touch is just automatically gold. What happens if those earnings come in and they go, we just hit expectations? I don't know. In this market, everything is bullish, but they got to be impressive. I'm not sure. We're up there. We've had quite the I wouldn't even say the journey. It was a quick sprint to get up there at all-time highs. So this earnings is going to be huge for Microsoft. We'll see what happens. I'm expecting to, and I'm expecting the earnings to be good. I'm not expecting them to be bad. If they're bad, I think we just get that would be kind of, I think, the signal to the pullback. And I'm not even saying like recession. I'm saying finally we get some kind of a pullback, which is crazy. But I think they're going to make money. There's no doubt in my mind they make money. There's no doubt in my mind they have a good balance sheet. They probably bring in billions of dollars and everyone's going to be happy. But is that going to live up to the expectation that we have? I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be a chance to take some profits, but this is going to be a big one to watch. Then there's a lot of earnings coming out all throughout the week, so we'll see. But I just think this is the heaviest weighted one. We shall see. We got Albert says Marvell. Well, we do see Microsoft gapping up again, and that does look like a gap and go, by the way, on Microsoft. I would like to see some kind of mini pullback and then probably stick bullish on Microsoft, at least for today, for day trade. We got Marvell. Marvell is inside day still. So day trade wise, you're going to lose a little edge just because you're not extremely bullish, not extremely bearish. This was a little bit of a frightening day on Thursday. You have that nice big gap up. Okay, you're expecting a retest. Okay, you're going to stop here at 72.20. Oh, no. Okay, we're going to stop at $70.88. All right, we got one level of support. We close there. We can take a little sigh of relief, and maybe we get that bounce. That's still a bearish engulfing candle. The next day we gap down again. We closed below that one. So we're starting this is our third day in a row down. Watch that level of, and this is a big retest gap too. So we retested perfectly. We almost, we didn't quite get to the 69.89. That would have been kind of my target, but, or spot to short. So we didn't quite get there yet. The good positivity side for Marvell is we are gapping up above, not only Friday's gapping VPOC, but this one as well. So watch this level here. So see if we get a little pullback. Watch how 68.25 holds, and then if it doesn't, then we're looking for like 67.99. That's got to be the spot. Overall, I'm not a big fan of where this one closed. I'm not a big fan of where that VPOC closed. I think this probably puts a little bit more pressure to the downside, but until this 67.99 breaks, and if it breaks, then I think we get a pretty decent flush. 65.86 would be my target, and probably this day's open will be also some kind of support I would put it at. But 67.34, shave a couple shares, and see what happens there. Otherwise, probably remain bullish if we come into until that breaks. You get good risk reward at least to a bullish trade. Just throwing your stops somewhere on that 68.99 zone, or what is it, 67.99? But yeah, not a huge gap. So watch the technicals. If this thing comes down, we start getting double bottom, something like that, around 68. That might be a good double bottom to take in the bullish direction. Just gives you good risk reward. Without anything else. We got SoFi. So SoFi again reports earnings. They do have a decent short float. I thought it was 13%. Let's see if it's still 13%. Yep, 13.37% short float. So that's a pretty decent short float. We are squeezing a lot of bulls out. We did talk about this one, and again, I'm a little mad because I think it was TradingView. I think TradingView said earnings were at nighttime, and I just trusted TradingView. I gotta write them an email. I want my money back. That's crazy. But yeah, good gap and go. Definitely over 1, 2, 3, 4 red days in a row, if you want to consider that one. But otherwise, 4 days in a row. Huge resistance, and we were sitting there pre-market, at least about an hour ago when I first took a look at this one. But 854 is where we were sitting. That was the resistance. We broke out of all of that. I do like this bullish. See if we can get a little profit taking. This would be I think a contender for a little bit of a high wave at open, maybe a small little pullback, because this is a pretty big gap. They did miss, I believe, on earnings per share. Again, TradingView's telling me they hit from the initial report that I saw. They missed earnings per share, but we'll go with TradingView. But they did come in. They did surprise beat on earnings per share according to TradingView. And then surprise, and that's about what I had for the revenue as well, 22 million. So surprise beat 22 million to the upside. So that's looking good. And I do like that squeezing pressure on it. Targets on this one, I don't know. The first spot at least would be 892. And if I think it stops there, I'm only getting about 20 cents to the upside. I don't like that risk reward. And then probably a zero trade for me. If I think we can start to break out of there, I don't really have a level until about $9.40. So this thing could have a decent amount of room in it. Yeah, back here we got 890 and we got $9 somewhere in that zone is going to be our first little zone of pressure. See if this thing wants to pull back first. I think that's the only way I really get pressure. That's the only way I think I get a better risk reward on this trade is if this thing can pull back a little bit. Longer term though, yeah, I could see us up to like $9 and $9.30, something like that. Maybe that extra 13% short float helps us get there, but give me some kind of a pullback, maybe into like this 850 zone, 854 zone, and I think that'd be a spot to look. I think. Yep, first time, but it was also widely expected. If we go to Palantir, and well, I don't know which of the earnings it was, but Palantir did the same thing. First time reporting earnings, I think they had a decent gap up. And then eventually over time, so we ran a little bit after that. I think it was this one. I could be wrong, but it was one of these. No, that was a miss. I think it was this one here was first time. So there's your gap up. And correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody in the chat, let me know if that was the first time. But I think that was. You got that huge gap up, and then we did start to fade back. I don't know if that was it. But we did after. I know once we did report earnings for the first time on that one, it did give us another opportunity. Maybe it was here. Maybe it was all the way back here. One of these. It was very similar. We had the gap up, and then the markets kind of came back in and pushed the pressure down on this thing one more time. And then it had an opportunity. So I'm seeing if SoFi could do the same thing with we get one more pullback. If you do like SoFi for the long term, which I'm not opposed to, especially now that they did turn profitable, I'm not really opposed to them. But I think longer term, you might get one more opportunity if it plays out anything like Palantir did. All right. Morning, RL. I haven't been in RL trading room since Jeremy started giving out his Newsom Nuggets. He's still giving out Newsom. I think isn't his Twitter handle Newsom Nuggets? At Newsom Nuggets. He's still giving out some Newsom Nuggets. I'll read his Newsom Nuggets all day. All right, we got Santilla says good morning. We got AMD. Yeah, AMD earnings is coming out this week as well, I believe. I think it's the 30th. Yeah, so the 30th And I do think this one's at nighttime. Trading View tells me at nighttime. Usually AMD is after the market closes, so I'll believe it on this one. But AMD is going to be another one to watch for the 30th. We will see. Nice little gap up, still inside day today. Nothing too crazy. We are sitting right at a resistance, probably somewhere around 180.47. This is going to be an interesting one today. I'm not crazy bullish on it up here. Well, in the sense of like, I don't want to buy it for the long term at 180. For day trade wise, again, it is inside. We did start to sell. I think the high of Friday on this one was somewhere around 181.20, somewhere very close to that, maybe a tad less. But I'm looking at, we're opening into resistance inside day candle. I think this one probably fades out of the gate. This is a retest gap, and even though there's a green candle, all of this was a perfect little retest. We're kind of pushing into that resistance. I don't know if this one's gonna have a big range on this one today, unless we start to break one direction or the other. So that would be 160, 180.66 probably. If we can start getting above there, then I think we have a shot to like 183.40, something like that. Otherwise, to the downside, I got two decent levels of support here. So 178.28, and then another one coming in at 177.74. So it would make a little sense to just chop around before earnings. But so what's the 30th? The 30th is tomorrow. That's tomorrow. I thought I was just thinking end of the week. Hey. All right, they're coming quicker. We got Microsoft and we got AMD tomorrow. My goodness, XOM I believe is on Friday. Yep, this one's on Friday. So, nice little pop on this one. I believe we do have some oil starting to come back a little bit. You're not really hearing a lot about any of the oil chatter, but it has been coming back a little bit. Most names, except for ExxonMobil, most names I don't think has really moved with it. So we have Oxy over here too. I guess we kind of got a little creep up on that one too. You're still in the Warren Buffett zone, so he's anywhere like 56 to 59, somewhere in that zone for Warren Buffett. We got a bunch of days in a row that could be probably needing a pullback at some point. Oxy, I've got a level of 58, 55, but otherwise good double bottom. Did get a little bit scary on the way down. Otherwise, that's a perfect retest, perfect double bottom. I think Oxy might still be worth looking to buy the dips on, especially with the Buffett the Buffett buffer, I guess. But this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in a row into a decent resistance. I would love to see a little bit of a pullback. I think that would be healthy for it. Otherwise, trending nicely. Besides this 58, 55, that would be my next little resistance. The next one after that, 58.90. And then that would be decent if we could get up there because we'd be breaking a big resistance zone. ExxonMobil, same thing. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. I'm looking at 103.33 as a bullish target. So we might start to be hitting into a little bit of that resistance. Let me see if there's any notable volume candles. The only other one I see is this one here, and that's a small inside green day. So nothing too crazy on that. It's a lot of days in a row of buying where I think a pullback. This is kind of into the neckline of that double bottom. Otherwise, I wouldn't be surprised if ExxonMobil and Oxy and all of them start climbing again. Google has we're stacking. We're not even waiting for the week. We're stacking Google on January 30th as well. So we got tomorrow. We got Goog coming in. What a list of heavy hitters this week. The only one that's not reporting this week is Nvidia. Really good gap for continuation. It's not so much. I mean, we're gapping a little bit from the close. See if we get a little pullback here. Otherwise, we got really good support on Google, somewhere around 153.39 for some level. Otherwise, I would be still looking bullish on Google. Look for continuation. See what we can do. Amazon, we had all-time highs. Was that Friday, right? Yep, Friday. This one I would still look for more continuation. Probably again, 160 might be a little psychological number, but We played around with the 160 zone for about a minute and a half before we broke through it. So it wasn't even, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was about 15 minutes. We rejected the 160 zone on Friday, and then we started to get some clearance to just keep on going. So I wouldn't mind also playing just continuation on Amazon. Same thing with Google. Let me get Google up here a little bit too. But yeah, nothing. Not the only crazy gap I see so far. And let me know if I'm missing anything. Let me know if there's any tickers you guys want me to take a look at. But the only thing I really see so far is Sofi, which could be a fun one if it's not already at some of the targets. Otherwise, I'm really looking more for continuation today. Maybe a little bit of a slower day. It could be a slower day. Just maybe some people want to adjust some positions, wait and see what happens into earnings. But that's it. We got. I mean, YouTube. You guys are quiet with tickers. The chat is a little quiet with tickers. Jay says lots of money is still on the sideline. Dips will get bought. I do think that. Yeah, I do. I think there is still absolutely a ton of money on the sidelines. I think people that were piling into treasuries, kind of waiting for some of those treasuries to expire. I think you got some of that FOMO still coming in. The only thing that we're missing is the dip to be bought. We haven't had that yet. No, no dips yet. We got QQQ for Ramon. Yeah, so Q's the same thing as kind of spies. It's just gonna be tight range. Even on this though, even with this gap here, I'd still want to be probably a little bit more bullish than bearish. Because my next and that's just based off of risk reward. So I'm looking at some kind of support somewhere close as I could get to like 424.04. I think the better. I mean, that's kind of where I want my support to hold. Anything under that, we're still gonna have a couple levels just from the intraday of Friday. So the closing price was 423.82, somewhere in that zone. The low of the day is gonna be another support, 423.26. We have a couple supports here. This one has already been retested, but I'd kind of be still looking to hold bullish. I'm not crazy like this is the best bullish thing I've ever seen, but I think that's where the risk reward comes in still. TLT. See if there's any warning sign. You got TLT gapping up too, with a little bit of a gap and go. Still inside of this candle, and these are just two inside. So technically gap and go on for all three, but maybe a little resistance somewhere around 94.50 on that one. Cindy says, all right. I'd be looking for continuation still. Nice breakout candle, decent close. A next target on this one is $11.92. And that takes us into some of those moving averages as well. So if you can make maybe about 50 cents, something like that. Unless something in the crypto world starts going crazy. I don't know what Bitcoin or Mara is doing. The one I think we should watch, and we haven't pulled it up yet, but related to this is Coinbase. Mara could actually get fun for continuation too. That one we got a better range. I think I'd prefer Mara over Riot today. This Mara we could get to like $19.18. I think Mara has a bigger short flow too. So Mara might be one for maybe a small little high wave, but that one looks like a decent right, same thing. Decent break on Friday, good close. I think we even to a 618, that's going to take us somewhere probably to like $20.66. Not sure if we hit that today, but that looks decent. And Coin had some, we did play Coin. I probably got out a little too soon. This was my trade that we took in the live room on Friday. It would have hit our targets. I ended up getting out for like a 0.38 just because I'm up a lot this month. I'm just trying not to. I'm really just trying to cruise it out to the end of the month and just make either some small gains or if I could get my stops to break even, something like that. But I think some of you guys held in a little bit longer than I did and hit the 1.2 we were looking for, and I think it would have went above that. But we do have a little bit of gap and go. All this was kind of just it was a retest, but it was a gap and go Friday. I think we still have that bullish momentum. We got a little resistance here, but even where this gap is right now, I think targets on this one actually I kind of like Coinbase more than Mara and Riot today. I'm looking at one little resistance on this one, and it's got a lot of room, probably back to 132.72. So Coinbase, Mara, Riot, probably all good to look at. See if there's a little bit of I'm not expecting a huge move at open. We'll see what happens. Um, at open, I think Amazon and Google continuation plays are going to be fun, and then I think SoFi would be interesting. ZI, Zscaler, oh Zoom Info. Uh, 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 uh. They got an upgrade to 25 from 20. Pretty decent gap. A little bit of resistance going back to over here. Technically, it was a bullish day on Friday. I wouldn't really consider that so much a gap, a retest gap from this. I'm playing more of this. That is a good gap and go. Uh, Emily says she posted the mentorship link in YouTube. No, yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, for some reason, if we have like access to the YouTube to sign in and stuff, that YouTube doesn't let us post our own links. So I don't understand why. Kind of crazy, but um, but I appreciate that. Let's see, we got. Yeah, this one might be fun. Again, we have the resistance that goes back to here. See if we get a little pullback first on this one. Zoom Info. And then I'm looking for probably the next resistance about $17.11. I'm not sure where I want this thing to pull back to. That I think that's my biggest problem. First spot would be about $16.76. I kind of want that thing to break down even further, hit like 16.42, because then I have a really good risk reward. I think the only way I could really jump into this thing bullish, first of all, I'd have to ignore that consolidation over here, and then I'd have to also say that 17.12 is a likely candidate to break. On a longer term basis, I like it. You got a pretty decent head and shoulders, but coming down, closing some of those gaps, and then pushing to me would make a little bit more sense. We got S. Nike, I think, reports this week too. S looks good. I've never traded S, so I don't know the volume and like how it trades, but I really like this gap. I think this has got to be one to watch too. Um, Maybe a little resistance from there, but all that volume's pretty much deaded. So yeah, the only thing I don't know on this one, I'm gonna add this to the list. We'll watch it. If I like how it's trading, I'll trade it. But for me, it's just the fear of the unknown. Otherwise, I like that gap a lot too. Good find. Go, 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 go. I just added another ticker to this list to make it even longer for next time. I think my mission is just to eventually have every single stock ever on my list. I think that's eventually the mission. SMCI, and I see Tesla popping in there too. Let's see if I have time to cover both. I don't think I do. SMCI kind of looking for some consolidation. Looks like it's breaking down now. I kind of like it better to the short side, with the resistance of 485.13, and then targets if we really get going 445.96. This one's probably going to hang out there because we do have earnings coming out very soon. I know that today after the close. Today could get a little iffy on trading. Should be fun after hours. But yeah, the fact I think probably bullish into close today. But if we start breaking down some of those levels, 473.27 today at least, watch out. We got 445.96 loaded up. Everybody out there in YouTube land, you guys have been absolutely incredible. Make sure you guys stay safe. Big week in earnings. Make sure you know if you're getting to any type of swing trades that when those earnings are coming out, just so you don't get held up at TSA, and keep your arms and hands inside the flight at all times. You guys are incredible. We'll catch you guys later.